Greetings and welcome to another excellent Blitz game. I have a 3-minute Blitz game that I played against this guy from North Korea. And it was very interesting, and I think you'll find that there's a lot of cool stuff that happens. Now, when I looked at it, I did it because I thought it was a good game, and it turned out to have more interesting stuff than I had originally anticipated, which was fantastic. So, 3-minute blitz. I'm playing as black. My opponent plays d4, f5, Dutch defense. Now, the goal of Dutch defense is to restrict white from playing e4 if you can. So here now, white is playing knight h3, knight c3 with only one defender of e4. He can't play e4 yet. So he plays f3. I play bishop to b4, pinning the knight and immobilizing its ability to defend e4. Any piece that's pinned attacks nothing and defends nothing, especially when it's pinned to the king. That's an absolute pin. It cannot move. a3. Well, look, I'm not going to play bishop to a5. And maybe he plays b4, and here that just wins a piece for him. Okay, b4 to c5. So we take it. Kaboom. Which is all good. Now the computer, I looked at it, and the computer thought castling is the best move, and it really is. I thought that 2 versus 1, I thought and my opponent thought that e4 was not a good move. Turns out it's a very good move. Pawn takes, pawn takes. If I play knight takes, queen to h5 check, and he gets a vicious attack that you don't really want to face in a 3-minute game. So this move is not the greatest move. It's an okay move. Now, the thing is, my advice for you, if you're playing blitz games, is to have a plan, which I have a plan restricting e4. This is the basic Dutch defense plan. I'm playing moves that support this plan, and I'm playing them relatively rapidly. Good moves played rapidly are very hard to beat. Queen c2, threatening. Hey, if you're not paying attention, he now has 2 defenders of e4, the f-pawn and the queen. So e4, pawn takes, and I can't take it. So bishop to b7. So he missed an opportunity. There we go. Let's bring the bar up. It's all even. Oh, and here we go. e3. Being calm and restricted. Don't get crazy. He's following one of my dad's rules. Don't get fancy. So e3, develop your pieces. Take care of business first. Now, when I'm playing a game against somebody, it's nice on one level to see them playing moves that follow my dad's rules. But on the other hand, I don't like it because that means they're playing very good moves and it'll be harder to beat. Okay? So I'm conflicted. All right? But I have to give credit when someone plays a very good move. Okay, so bishop to d3, again, he's working on this e4 concept. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stopping e4. He's got 3 protectors, so I'm okay. Now in the future, he could play knight e2, knight g3, and then he'd have a chance to do this. I'm castling. Take care of your business. Get your development done. Another one of my dad's rules. Don't be fancy is really the rule that covers castling. h4. What a freak. He's been watching Hikaru, probably, who plays h4, a lot. Well, when it's a good move, it's an okay move, nothing super special. Be simple and be direct. Play the moves that you see. Execute your plan. Now, the advantage of knight bd7 is that if he plays c5, we have 2 attackers. He's got only 1 defender, so pawn takes, knight takes. Wins a pawn. You can't play c5. Sometimes people in the Dutch defense as white they'll play c5. I played a5. Normally, the move, that's not the move, the best move to play. The best move is to do something like, actually, I checked, the computer said c6 was the move. Shocking. The computer liked this move, and I thought this is an ugly, ugly looking pawn structure. But, you know, the computer sees further than the rest of us. This is a solid move. Again, solid move played relatively fast. My opponent has used 12 seconds. I've used 10. All right? So he plays h6. Well, now, the thing about h5 would have been valuable if my pawn was on g6 and he could trade, or I could trade. But even if I had g6, I would just play g5. He plays h6, so the obvious move is, if we take this, rook takes, and you just developed his rook for nothing. Big mistake. So we don't play that. We keep the position relatively closed. We don't want this rook to be developing for free. If I take the pawn, or let him play pawn takes pawn, his rook developed without even moving, which would be a plus for white. I'm not doing that, okay? So, now knight to e2. Again, his development is lagging a little bit. I'm slightly ahead in development, but nothing special. Queen e7, again, reinforces the, I don't think so, Tim, on c5. It's not happening. Now he plays a4, making my a5 a great move. But objectively, I should have played a different move, c6, according to the computer, and then a4, a5 is what I should have done. But that's okay. So here, he's trying this wing attack. He's got one pseudo wing attack with bishop to a3. I would just play c5, and it's perfectly fine. But he also spent time on this other wing attack. And so, conceptually, when your opponent engages in wing activity, counter-strike him in the center. And that's what I'm doing, is counter-striking the center with e5. If he takes it, knight takes, I'm threatening to win this pawn. He's got problems. He's going to have to do some, business. So, and actually he played the best move, pawn takes pawn. And then I followed this up with the best move of bishop takes pawn. Now, this was the move that made the most sense to me. Again, we're trying to stop or reduce the impact of e4. So here I have 3 attackers. He's got 1, 2, 3 defenders. He can play e4. And he does, that jerk. But that's okay. The one thing I can let him, what's he trying to do? Well, he'd love to play this. Pawn takes, and then bishop takes f5. He's winning a pawn. I don't have a choice. Not that I'm really worried. My bishop's under attack. I just take this. Now, he does get to play the move he set up for, f takes e4. But we are now 17 moves deep into the game. He's used 21 seconds. I've used 24 seconds. It's all good. So here, I have 2 choices. I can go back on the b7 diagonal, but there's really nothing going on. Bishop takes here. So I went back here to defend against a bishop or queen check on the b3 to f7 diagonal with bishop f7. Computer says bishop e6 is better with the idea of bishop to g4. All right, I played this. It's a safer move because he plays d5, which looks good, but actually doesn't do anything for his position. What it does is it cedes control of the c5 square, and my knight's going to go here. And actually, this is not the best move. I played this move because I thought, oh man, jump into this square. He should play like bishop to a3 probably. The move I should have played at this moment was knight to g4. It's an absolute great move. But I didn't do that. You'll see why it's great in a minute. Okay, he castles. And now the hilarious thing is, computer said, this castling is a double question mark blunder. And the move that exploits this, which I saw, but I didn't think it was a blunder, because usually if it's a blunder, you're going to have a quickie checkmate. That didn't happen. But I had a vicious mating attack. Knight g4, exclamation. Best move on the board. And I'm threatening to play queen to h4, which he somehow misses. Now, this move was inferior. The computer says g3 is the move, which is interesting. g3, and the move here is bishop rips d5. I saw this idea of playing this move, and I thought, I'm just losing a bishop. Why would I, because I want to trade rooks, because I could, checkmate him. But after he played c4, queen h4, I played this so fast. It's not even funny. What was it? 2 seconds. I played this move very fast because I'm threatening an outright checkmate. So he has to defend this checkmate. And, well, he thought about it. I saw this move, and this is the only move that doesn't lose. This is the best move on the board. Every other move loses. Bishop to e3, a bishop to f4, I would just take the free bishop. Okay. Because I'm threatening this. This is just a checkmate. He plays the correct move. Now, again, this is where I actually saw the idea of bishop takes d5, and I go, this is just losing. He's gonna play rook takes rook, rook takes rook, but I'm checkmating him if he takes the rook or the bishop. He's checkmated. That's what I missed. I missed that bishop takes here. He can't play rook takes rook because rook takes rook, and now that rook on f8 becomes a fence rook. He cannot cross the f line, and queen to h2 is just checkmate. So my bad on that one. I did play another move that's still good. Now my opponent, he's down to 1:35 seconds. He took a long time on this rook move. I want to say he took almost 30 seconds. 25 and 2, 27 seconds he took on this rook move. This is the only move. Uh-oh. Pardon me. Big sneeze. Rook to f3 exclamation. Best move. I played simple move. g5. Don't be fancy. Bishop d5. Like I said, I looked at it, but I didn't calculate it. So looking at it and saying no means I didn't look at it long enough, because this is a 3-minute game. I don't have all day. So I'm playing solid, strong moves fast. g5 is very good. You'll see why. But it's not perfect. That's the thing. There's perfect moves that can be played. And now I simply play bishop to g6. I'm going to remove this defender to the best of my ability. I want to remove this defender and try to checkmate him. Now, one of the things you'll notice, this knight cannot play here. Well, actually, he could play that. Yeah, oh no, he can play this, but I would just play bishop takes. Or I can play bishop takes, pawn takes, e4. So knight f5 loses. And that's what I thought he was going to do. Actually, I think the best move he can play is like bishop takes g5. He played, this is an absolute blunder. This move loses. He has a little bit better chance of queen e2. Now, the thing is, he's got a problem because I'm threatening to check him. And then, wait a second. If he goes knight f5, check, king f1, check, king e2, queen takes, pawn check, is just crushing. Wins a rook. He's just annihilated. Okay, that's why he can't play knight f5. So he played bishop to e2, and I uncorked a move on him that was a monster move, and I checked it against the computer, and the computer gave me a brilliancy. And in fact, there was another. I have two moves here that I saw to play, and I was thinking. I go, is it knight takes e4, or is it bishop takes e4? Now you notice he's got a knight and a queen here, two defenders of e4, but the knight is overloaded. The knight is overloaded because it cannot capture here. Watch. This is what I played, and this was a brilliancy move. Knight takes e4. If he takes the knight, which is what he did, he gets checkmated. And that's the problem. He just gets checkmated because he doesn't have the guardian of h1. queen h2 check, king f1, queen h1 checkmate. So fantastic move there. Now, the other move that also wins with a brilliancy is bishop takes e4. This wins his queen, which is just unbelievable. I didn't think this move was as good. I saw knight takes e4 because this is a devastating move. There's nothing he could do. He doesn't have a way to defend this. He can't keep it here. If he moves it, he gets checkmated. If he doesn't move it, I'm going to take this and probably still checkmate him. Okay? But there's nasty combinations that come up. And I did another video. It was convoluted, unfortunately. So I decided to redo this, and I'm going to show you at the end of this video. I will tack on the video that shows the brilliancy moves, etc. Just so you can see it, because I don't think it was the greatest coherently. But the things you see, and we cover those, but it gets a little noodly, and you know, it goes and dives into details, which can be a little bit boring and confusing. But I'm going to give it to you guys to let you look at it. For those of you who want to see it and can handle and want to see the different things, it's really awesome just to see the brilliancy moves that were available, which is just, it's so fantastic to play this move. And I know it was a good move when I played it. And then I went back and it showed me the brilliancy. Here, he's just checkmated. And now, there's another problem. The reason I was trying to trade rooks and have bishop takes here was that this would be a checkmate if the rook is gone. If this rook is gone, you know, this check is just devastating, potentially. So anyway, we hit him, queen h2 check, king f1, and queen h1 is checkmate. And that's the point is, this knight was so devastating when I played this move, because this is the harbinger of checkmate. His king can no longer escape. And like I said, the computer said g3 is his only defense, which is hard to see, to be honest, because it doesn't look, you know, when you're playing from the pieces, from the white piece perspective, g3 goes against the general idea of not moving pawns in front of your king. So you learn at a relatively earlier time in your chess that if you move pawns willy-nilly in front of your king without specific reason, now there's a specific reason, so this is the exception to the rule. The rule is you don't move these pawns unless you've got a super good reason. Turns out queen to h4 has to be stopped. So this is one of those things, then chess, you have the general rule and you have the exception. The general rule is what he followed by not playing g3. But the exception is that g3 exclamation is his only chance to save this position from being an annihilation. It's not good. I'm still winning, and you know, it's like plus 4 point, or it's minus 4 point something for black. I'm over a piece ahead in position. Notice this bishop does nothing the entire game. This rook does nothing the entire game. This queen does very little the entire game. This is a tall pawn, and these things add up. And that's the thing that he just got annihilated when he played this super solid looking move. This move looks solid. It's just got a magnificent flaw, is that I'm coming in for a checkmate attack with knight and queen. And like I said, he's thinking he's pretty good. You know, he's got c4, e4, d5, good space advantage, etc. Solid position, but this is really a giant pawn. This bishop does nothing. This bishop is doing very little. He's guarding this h-pawn, but I don't want the h-pawn. I'm going to checkmate him. I got everything going except this rook. So this rook and this rook do nothing. Just, they cancel each other out. They're both do nothing, but everything else that I have is doing something. This knight is positioned to do stuff with this bishop if necessary. So this piece is not really worthless. It's a low participant. This bishop is a killer, man. That bishop takes d5 is just an awesome move, but I didn't play it. You know, and like I said in my other video segment, seeing the move as possible, a bishop takes d5 is one thing. Seeing that is a really good move, that is something else. I didn't see this in a 3-minute game. Maybe in a tournament game, you know, a much longer game, I would have really looked at bishop takes d5. But it's a speculation. I did look at it, so it was like on the horizon potentially. So really fantastic. Now the game ended here. Knight takes here. He's got 1 minute 13 seconds left. I have 1:14, but he's already annihilated. I just laid a double exclam brilliancy move on him. Man, it just feels good to be able to show that to you, and you'll see this in the clip that follows this. It's a little bit longer, but and convoluted, but pretty awesome. So finish him, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Man, I enjoyed playing this game, and if you stick around and watch the other parts, and you can fast forward to whatever the brilliancies because they're marked with the blue squares, it's awesome. That'll be, you know, more fun for you than just watching this and having the explanation. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys later. And as always, remember, please like and subscribe. Bingo. All right. D4, F5, Dutch defense. Let's see what he knows. C4, Knight F6, Knight C3, E6. Typical classical Dutch. F3. You know, popular to a degree to play E4, etc. Well, he wants to play E4. I would like to stop it as long as possible. If he plays E4, he only has the pawn, one defender. I have two attackers. So E4 loses to pawn takes, knight takes. As we stand here. A3, hey, my bishop is there for business, brother. And my business is not to move back here. It's to take this and restrict E4 as much as possible. Therefore, the move to play, B6. Yeah, you don't care for it. I don't care. This plan is a good plan, and that's the key. Castles is objectively best. Sure, no problem. He could have played that move. Good question. Let's look and see. He could have played E4. E4, pawn takes. I'm sorry, pawn takes. Do I play knight takes? If I play knight takes, he's got check. I have E6. Let's just see what happens. The best move. All right, let's see. And now, I don't know. I'm assuming you can't do this, but let's find out why. Okay. Question mark. QH5, yes. G6. This I see. What up, Bobby Fischer? Obvious move. Queen 2. I mean, what the heck is that? It's not that great. Sorry. He goes here. What does it say the best move is? Pardon me. Okay. Let's see. Whoops. Let's do this. Gotta go back. No problem. Okay. Knight f3, good move. So he's supposedly a 0.9 ahead. Yeah, bishop to b7, of course. The idea is that we'll just play knight a6 or knight to c6 and castle. Get the heck out of Dodge, and he's going to be somewhat in trouble. So bishop d3 looks like a good move. And let's play knight a6. The problem he has is he can't really do much there. Or can he? No, it's kind of difficult. What happens? Let's just take a look and see. This is the speculative line. Kablooey. Now, knight to there. Oh, okay. That's very clever. Got it. All right, that's not good. So, we learned something. We learned that b6 move does not stop e4. We have to castle. And that's the key. But we played it. Live with it. Queen to there. We'll play bishop to b7. Same story. Now he cannot play e4 because he only has 2 defenders and I have 3 attackers on e4. But we learned something. All right, e3, fine. d5. Now the idea of d5 was to prevent e4. You know, pawn takes. We have stuff like we could play pawn takes or bishop takes, what have you. He should have taken, is what I thought. It likes castles. However, we did not castle. We played d5. He played here. Let's see the best move. Pawn takes. Show the follow-up. We're going to show the follow-up. Queen takes. Now we have 4 guys stopping this e4. Pawn, knight, queen, and bishop. So e4 is not happening. Very good. He goes bishop d3. Now again, 1, 2, 3, 4 stoppers. 1, 2, 3 protectors. Again, he probably needs to play pawn takes. And now I can't play pawn takes. So queen takes. He has c4 if he wants it, or bishop. Well, not there, but c4 he can play. He plays this very aggressive h4. As my dad would say, of course, what's he trying to do to me? Push h5 and h6. Who cares? What is he going to do? h5, I don't do anything to h5, and if he goes h6, I'm just going to play g6. This is a nothing move. There's nothing to attack. There's no g-pawn on g6. If it's g6, he plays h5, you might have problems. All right? So this h4 doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't scare me at all. I've seen it 100 times before. So getting the development, you know, probably the correct move, like the computer says here, knight a6 and c5. This is the idea. So let's go knight to the, actually bishop to a6. Very good. Threatening to play pawn takes. Very interesting. Okay. I thought actually knight c6 maybe, well, whatever. We didn't play that. We play knight bd7. He has a one-track mind. h4, h5, h6. That's 3 moves he's using to try and beat me up. He's trying to bully me. That doesn't work. Anyway, what are we going to do here? What is going on? Now we've stopped e4 successfully. Now this is a 3-minute game. The way to play 3-minute blitz games, play good moves with a plan relatively quickly. If you can do that, your chances of winning are quite good. A5. Sometimes, well, basically, I didn't have an obvious move. Computer says c6, you know, and just go ahead and probably play bishop a6 after that to reinforce d5, pawn takes, and then c takes, d5. I didn't like that. I played a5. Normally, you play a5 because he'll play 8. Usually, white will play a4, then you play a5 to stop it. I played it early because I didn't have an obvious move. I didn't like the visual look of this F5, E6, D5, C6 pawn chain. It was kind of, you know, so I didn't do it. H6, well, you should know the reflexive move. Don't allow him to, if I take this pawn or allow him to play pawn takes pawn, his rook develops for nothing. He's wasted 1, 2, 3 moves and his rook's not developed. So, yeah, I don't know why the computer is in love with his position, but, yeah, whatever, dude. Knight E2. He doesn't have obvious developing moves. Now, there are some ideas that you could play here of knight H5, and if he wants to play rook takes, pawn takes, good luck with that, because he doesn't have the development to do anything with a sacrifice of the exchange. So knight to E2. Again, he says pawn takes, and then I can play pawn takes back myself if I want to, or bishop takes, you know, whatever. Queen E7. This is in case he wants to play C5, because then I'd have 1, 2, 3 attackers on C5, pawn takes, queen or knight takes. You know, you choose. Whatever, dude. He's in trouble. So C5 sometimes is a move that white want to play. We want to stop it. All right. He played A4, which works with my A5. Works for me, not for him. It doesn't do anything for me. He's going to have bishop to A3, but I have C5. Pawn takes, and I've got 2 guys defending. He's only got 1 attacker. He's not going to skewer my rook and queen and win the exchange. Now, I played E5 because I'm looking to do some central business. Look at his development. His development is not good. I'm sorry. Now, the computer can look 25 moves ahead, but this smells funny to me. So, he's not going to take it. If he takes this, we hit him with knight takes. Here, threatening to take this, you know, and we're getting activity. He actually played the best move. That's impressive. I played the best move, bishop takes. But I've been talking about playing bishop takes for several moves, obviously. So, great move for him. Great response. I'm glad to see that I responded to the best move with the best move. That makes you feel good. So now what are you going to do, Bobby Fischer? You still have a problem. I'm threatening to play E4. You know, he has 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. Queen, knight, pawn, and bishop. So E4, pawn takes. I can simply play pawn takes, and he's got to move his bishop. So, you know, whatever. He plays E4, and I'm like, well, okay. Now, that is not a good idea because, again, his development is sketchy. Okay, it's not horrible, it's not good. So I want to trade on E4. His best move is what? Bishop to A3. Yeah, forcing C5. That's fine. The thing is that this position for white is very antsy. So he goes E4. I take with the pawn the best move, which is good. I wasn't sure it was the best move, but it seemed like the best move. And then he plays, of course, the best move is pawn takes. That's obvious. And then I play. Now I can do a couple of things. I can go bishop B7 or stay on the diagonal and prevent a check. I stayed on the diagonal. He says bishop to E6. The weakness of that is, well, and I didn't like the fact he could play this, D5, forcing me off the diagonal. It's okay, it's no big deal. This was a safer move. He did play D5. And now, what we do is, yes, what a great move I had. Check this out. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That is not the best move. Bad move. Yeah, I thought the move that I played, I didn't. I played this move later. Knight to G4 is the move. My mistake. Okay. This is not This is not an objectively bad move. It's just inferior to this, knight to g4, because when I play knight c5, he's plus a half a pawn, and if I play here, I'm up a half a pawn. So it's it's plus 0.5 for white after knight c5, but if I play knight g4, it's now minus 0.48, which is basically up half a pawn for black. My bad, no problem. Can't complain. This is a solid move. You can't play the best move every time. No one can. So you're playing moves in your plan. This is one of the planned moves I had. I felt okay, even though it's objectively inferior to the much better knight g4. It's super rare that castling is a double question mark. It's even rarer that it's a double question mark without an obvious, win of a piece, checkmate, attack, etc., etc. And I hit him with I think is the best move. Let's find out if it is. Yes, knight to g4, a monster move. When I saw it, I'm like, oh man, this is nasty. Now it's not obvious that it's awesome. The knight itself isn't doing anything. I can't play knight to e3, but it sets me up to play the move that's just absolutely monster. So he's in major league trouble. It says minus 3.25. He's only used 33 seconds for this whole game, and I've used a little bit more, 36. Okay, it's pretty straightforward stuff for the most part. C4 is an absolute do-nothing move. His development is awful. He's got to do something. Bishop to A3 probably. No, it says G3, and that is the right move. The reason why it's the right move is because of this. Crunch. This is the cruncher. He had to stop this move. If he stops that, I'm not sure what I'm doing. But, whatever. My position is still good. Let's see what happens if he plays G3. Here. What should I play after G3? Oh, bishop takes. What does that do? Well, it threatens to play rook takes. His rooks aren't connected. So this is an absolute crusher. He can't play pawn takes. If he plays pawn takes bishop, rook takes rook. Watch this. Show the follow-up. Knight to d4 is awful. Oh, it lets him take back with the bishop. If he plays the obvious, pawn takes bishop. Rook takes rook to me looks like the crusher. It is. Rook takes rook, king takes rook, and now the pieces go berserk. He has to take it. I mean, it's an obvious move. All right, no problem. Now the question here is queen to f6. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Queen f6 or rook to f8. Queen to f6 it is, because we get the infiltration of the queen on f2. This is pretty much over, man. He has to give up the piece. It's over. When you do that, pawn takes, you could quit the game. All right. Anyway, let's go back. G4, outstanding. C4, very bad. Crushing queen to h4. This I saw was the threat when I played knight to g4. He missed it because it's not obvious from the white position. It's not obvious what's going on here. Not in a blitz game where he's playing super fast. And he went from here, when I played queen to h4, he had 202, and it took him down to 135, so that's 25 plus this, 27 seconds on rook to f3, which is the best move. I thought that was the move he would play. Now, one of the things I have a check here. I also have a check here. Problem with check on e1 at this moment, without this rook being able to take, he would just go rook to f1. So I can play check, king f1, and that's the best move. Queen to h1, check, knight to g1, and then knight checks, winning the exchange. I played a different move that's also very good. Yeah, 569 goes down to 421, and the idea is, oh, well, it never occurred. I knew I could do this, but I didn't think that it was necessary. But it's actually winning. Bishop takes pawn. I missed it. I saw it, but seeing that you have bishop takes pawn, I discounted it, instantly. It's just giving away a bishop. But the point is to destroy the rook. Removal of this defender, because after bishop takes pawn, either pawn takes bishop, rook takes rook, pawn takes rook, check and mate. This rook is stopping a checkmate. So seeing a move and considering it are not the same. I did see this move, didn't consider it, therefore it never crossed my, radar. I played g5 so I could play bishop to g6, not realizing I've got a brilliancy right here. Well, actually, it's not a brilliancy. It looked like a brilliancy. Yeah, okay. Bishop to f4. Pawn takes. Pawn takes. I'm doing great. I'm not crushing. But it's okay. So, again, I played g5. And my idea is slow. He should have taken the pawn. Wow, what kind of move is that? Pawn takes. Bishop takes pawn. Queen takes. You could play rook to g3, but then bishop to h5. Defending the knight should be adequate. We're winning here solidly, 4.21. This is just clearing the file for the rook. I'm now threatening to crush him. He's annihilated. It's a 4.05. This is more than enough to win, and the pressure here on white is just devastating. Does nothing. He has to play knight to f1. Wow, what a move. If he plays knight to f1, that's not a checkmate because the knight is there. Wow, good move. But rook takes rook, pawn takes. And then what is going on? Rook takes rook, pawn takes rook. I don't know, good question. Yeah, there you go. Man, this is nasty. We're up a pawn and a bishop. I mean, man, that's tough. He played bishop e2, trying to take back and defend. And then I hammered him with knight takes e4. The second brilliancy move. That, well, I think it's the second one we've seen. Because I realized he can't take that. I did consider bishop takes. But it's like, okay. It's not as good at all. It's also, either one was brilliant. That's fantastic. That is super fantastic. That bishop takes is also brilliant because the whole point is we're removing a defender. Right now, what's going on here is I'm threatening to take this rook, check him. I don't know. I'm on his queen. You can't take, the knight can never move. The knight is pinned because there's a potential checkmate threat of queen h2 check, king f1, queen to h1 checkmate because this knight is a monster piece. So the knight is trapped because he cannot defend the h1 square if he moves. This knight is trapped defending h1 from the queen h2, queen h1 check. So this is an absolute killer move. My move was also killer. He could play rook takes and I play rook takes. Okay? It says I win a queen. It's like, okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that, bishop takes is winning a queen, but I knew that knight takes was devastating. I'm threatening to win, more material. So let's look at this and see what is going on with my original move. Also a brilliancy, I've never seen a position where I had two choices to play that were both brilliant. And, I knew this was a great move. The knight can't move again because he just gets checkmated. Queen h2, king f1, and then queen h1 is checkmate. So this was a brilliant sacrifice is what it says. This move will win a queen with correct play. So show the tactic. Knight goes back. Knight goes into f2. Oh, and this is a spite check. He takes the bishop with a spite check. Well, you're a big meanie, check. I take it, and then you're getting checkmated. Queen to, man, this is ugly. Queen to h1 is a checkmate. So he has to take the knight. And he takes the knight. We take it with the queen, check. King to h1, forced. We can play queen takes bishop, or we could play rook takes rook. But I think queen takes bishop is just winning nastily.